Computer science major, and today I'm going to talk about my exploration of faith and to challenge you to doubt yours. So after my presentation, I hope you don't see me as a public enemy, but instead someone who challenge you, encourage you to think more critically about your faith. So religion is not something people really enjoy talking about, right? I mean, it's almost taboo in the Singaporean society because we are a mixture, a boiling pot, a rojak of races and religions. But because today I'm in USP, you're in USP, I can finally talk about one of my favorite topics. So, religious or not, we all must admit that it has had the greatest impact on mankind's culture, history, and modern societies, right? More than 84% of Singaporeans are religious. Fortunately or not, I am in the minority because I do not believe in a God. But I wasn't born a non-believer, but I wasn't born a believer either. I was just born into a semi-superstitious family, and like a good boy, I just did what I was told, right? Burn joss sticks and so on. So the secondary school I went to was Maristella High School, which is a Catholic school. So we celebrated Lent and Easter, and we had morning prayers. And consciously or not, as a kid, I joined my friends in these morning prayers, right? So my life was going swimmingly well, my grades were good, I didn't get bullied in a boys' school, and maybe there was someone out there granting my wishes after all, right? So after that I went to Victoria Junior College, which is actually the place where I did most of my exploration. Because a lot of my closest friends were Christians, and incidentally at that time my sister converted to a Christian as well. So, you know, I'm sure all of you have friends who ask you to go to church, right? Or you yourself might be one of those people. And at that point in time, my emotions and my thoughts were rampant, my identity was a mess. I thought religion could help me in some way. So I started following my friends to church, and of course I started reading the Bible. I didn't know what to expect from reading the Bible, but what I found was really interesting, right? So there are nice Bible verses. I mean, you've seen them in people's Instagram bios, people's Instagram captions, right? And words like Corinthians, Psalms, and Proverbs will come up. And I mean, who hasn't heard of love thy neighbor, right? But if you actually flip through the Bible, actually read the stories of the Bible, you realize that there are stories which are not entirely wholesome. So my favorite one is the one on the screen right now, which is a story from the Book of Kings. So TLDR, right? There's this guy, this bald man called Elisha, and there were some children making fun of him, like, haha, you're bald, right? And for some reason, he cursed them in the name of the Lord, and out of the woods came two bears, which probably murdered 42 children. Not the most wholesome thing you heard, and certainly not something you put on your Instagram bios, right? So my question to you is, how do we pick nice stories from the Bible? Clearly there's a filter in which we pick the good stories from the Bible and we reject those which are frankly horrific, right? And then I concluded that this filter is that we are all decent human beings, right? We do not need to receive word from a holy book or religious authority to tell us what is right and what is wrong. And when I was looking for faith, I kind of looked at the side of science as well. I mean, many people tell me, right, science and religion can come together meaningfully, but historically there has always been a conflict of interest between these two entities. And to me, the strongest pull from science was the theory of evolution. I mean, if you haven't heard of this theory yet, I think you'll learn soon enough in USS. But there is no theory as significant as the theory of evolution in changing our perception of nature and our perception of human beings, ourselves as human beings, right? So let me give you a scenario. Imagine you're walking to your WC class or your QR class, right? And you see a watch on the ground. So as a curious, critical USP student, you must be thinking, since there is a watchmaker, since there is a watch, there is a watchmaker, right? Similarly, if there is a world, there is a world maker. This is the argument from design that spans across many religions, from Christianity, Islam, and even back to the Romans, right? I mean, look at ourselves. We are creatures of such insane biological complexity, right? Mitochondria turning food into energy, sweat glands to keep us from overheating. This certainly couldn't have come from nowhere. Just like that watch you found on the ground on your way to class didn't spontaneously appear from nowhere. There must have been a watchmaker. But if this so-called God was a creator, a designer of this world, I would argue that he's a flawed creator, right? I mean, why would he have created eyes with blind spots? Why would he have created the umbilical cord which can wrap around a baby's neck? Why would he have created designed bunnies with white tails? Is it so that they are more visible to hunters to shoot at? And this flawed theory of design just isn't something I can simply take in, and what appealed to me was the theory of evolution, which is able to provide a simple and elegant solution to our biological complexity without having to turn to something divine, right? So just like how we thought that the weather was once the temple of the gods, or last time we thought that the sun orbited the earth, right? It seems to me that religion seems to try to fill the gaps in our scientific knowledge. And even though it might seem harmless at first, it might actually become dangerous if people started blindly believing what is preached. Okay, so of course I'm not trying to downplay the positive impacts that religion has on society, right? You see on my slide, these are non-profit organizations, charities, hospitals, homes that are run by people which are inspired by their religion. But it just doesn't make sense to me as a belief system, as a way I should lead my life, because the foundation of which it is founded is very questionable. Okay, so I'm sure everyone has seen this slide before on your USS class or your QR class, right? This is a scientific method. And science, it is the spirit of science to doubt and to criticize, right? All scientific theories are always being abandoned to make way for new ones, which are able to explain nature better. And okay, so the main message I would like to deliver to you is to be more conscious about what you're believing in, right? I mean, it's not easy to start questioning something that you've believed for your entire life. It's going to shake up the foundation of who you are. For example, I tell you 1 + 1 = 3 right now, you're not going to take it easily, or at least I hope you're not, right? So I'd like to end off this controversial presentation by saying I hope there are no hard feelings towards me. Please don't start throwing eggs into my room and stuff. But I just wanted to say that my choice to become an atheist was an informed one, and I hope that your choice of faith will become one as well. Thank you.